Hey again from the garden, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So today is April 15th and it's a really exciting day. I am planting my very first cut flower seedlings out in the garden of the year. I'm so excited. I normally don't get started outside this early, but the forecast looks really good. These are cool flowers, which I'll talk a little bit about in a minute, and I am just going for it. Now, actually, this isn't the first planting that I have done outside. This past weekend, my husband, my daughter, and I actually planted our first vegetables out in the garden. So in our home raised bed garden, we planted two types of cabbage, red and green, and our broccoli. And then here at this garden, I have two large raised beds at the back of the property, and we planted all of our potatoes. We planted three kinds out there. So we've got a really good start for the season. And actually, in the last video I showed you guys, I planted some new raspberry plants. And if I get a chance at the end of this video, I've got some raspberries that I need to move, but I want to cut them back. So I may show you that at the end of this video as well. But today, the first flowers I'm planting out are Lisianthus. And oh my goodness, these are looking great. Now, I mentioned before, Lisianthus are cool flowers. That means they can be planted out this early in the season. They actually can be planted out as soon as 6 weeks before your average last frost date. And my forecast is looking really good. We've got a couple nights coming up, maybe 34, 35 degrees. Otherwise, the lows are upper 30s, low 40s. It looks really, really good. Now, Northern Iowa in April, even the first part of May can be iffy. So if it does dip below those temperatures and make me a little nervous, I'll just cover these really good with frost cloth, but I'm excited to get these out in the garden. So this is where I'm planting them. We're doing 4-inch spacing. These are all plugs that I got from Farmer Bailey, and here are the kinds I'm planting. So we've got the Voyage 2 yellow. This is the Voyage 2 white. I've got the Voyage 2 light apricot, and the other tray is the Roseanne brown, which I love. Now these seedlings are a little bit smaller than all of the others, so I may do these last, or I may save these for another day if I run out of space. But yeah, I'm just gonna get these going. So I'm gonna go grab maybe a trowel if I need to break up the soil. Actually, I don't know that I'm gonna have to break up the soil. So let me resituate the camera and we're just gonna get started. So I'm gonna get started with this partial tray of the Voyage 2 white. Now the number 2 means the flowering or bloom time. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So this should be somewhere in the middle. In fact, 3 out of my 4 varieties are 2. Roseanne brown, I'm not sure what category that's in. I'll put it up on the screen, but I'm really excited to have this many healthy Lisianthus this year. I started a few from seed. I never really do well with it. I should have known better, but I'm really excited that I ordered these. And I also hope that the wind isn't hitting the microphone too much. I guess I'll find out when I edit that. For now, I'm gonna hold my hand here, but this tray you can see is half empty. The first part of this tray went out in the hoop house, and those are looking absolutely amazing. I wanted to do a little comparison this year to see snapdragons and Lisianthus, where I like to grow them better. I know snapdragons do well outside, but I wanted to see how they would compare in the hoop house. Lisianthus, the verdict for me is still out. Whoa! The wind's coming up strong. I want to see where these fare better. So I'm going to zoom the camera in closer to show you how easy these are to plant, and then we're just gonna get this done as fast as we can. I almost feel like I need a stocking hat. However, it's 60 degrees, but the wind is chilly. All right, we've got a little bit of random yarrow coming up here, but that's okay. This bed actually looks pretty good. It was fully cleaned out last fall. Now, I showed you my planting method in the last video, but what I like to do is I like to just go through and make a quick hole with my thumb in each of the holes. I know that seems kind of silly, but that is my easy way of doing it. That's making the depression for where the lisies are gonna go. Then, oh, these pop out so easy. Whoops. And as I say that, I break a leaf off. Now here's what the plug looks like. You can see nice roots throughout. These look so good. Oh my gosh, this one's a little bit wilted. You always want to water your plugs before you plant them. I did. These are in the corner. I must have just missed them. So then all I do is I'm going to put these down right in the hole that I made. And then I'm going to go back and just fill in the dirt around them. Sometimes you got to go in if the soil's a little tough and add a little more. But that is it. And when I water these in, the soil will kind of settle around them even more. And they're going to be really, really happy. Okay, I'm going to see how fast I can get these planted. I'm going to start by filling in the end, move it this way, and then I'll move on to another color. That way they're all color blocked together. I have this row I can fill, this row behind me till about the middle, and then I'm probably going to have to get my torch out and burn some more holes in the landscape fabric, which may or may not work very good today because of the wind. But yeah, we'll just see. So I'm going to get started. All right, I've got that first partial tray planted and they're looking good. Moving on to the next tray. Well, I am plugging along. I'm halfway through my second tray and I went on to the Voyage 2 Yellow next. If you're still watching this video, comment down below and let me know what your favorite Lisianthus varieties are to grow for cut flowers. I have not grown a ton over the years. So I would love any input. These are planting really, really easy. I did not amend this bed before I started planting these. Got a lot of traffic on the highway right now. I was saying I did not amend this bed before planting these. Oh, geez. However, these are due for fertilizing, so probably tomorrow I'm going to come through and give them a good dose of fertilizer. And I like to use the Neptune's fish emulsion, and I will just mix that right into my watering can. And this area is small enough, it'll be easy to water by hand till I get all of my drip set up. But I will probably do that tomorrow, and I'll just follow the directions on the Neptune's bottle, and then that should give these a really nice feed. And I could do that once a week if I wanted to. This soil was amended last year really well, but I didn't really want to take the time to take up all the fabric. I probably should have, but I kind of just wanted to get these planted, to be honest. There's so many things going on right now with the retail shop. This is Easter week, and so I have been harvesting daffodils like crazy because I'm going to have a whole bunch of order pickups for Easter, both grab-and-go bouquets and my bouquet subscriptions. So that's really exciting. So I kind of just wanted to take advantage of this afternoon and get these planted out in the garden. I think I'm probably going to finish this part, finish the part that I have burned the 4-inch holes behind me, and then this other part I'm going to have to wait till another day if I still have more Lisianthus to fill in that area. It is pretty breezy today, and usually when it is this breezy, the torch that I use to burn the holes does not work very well. So I should have probably come out here and planned ahead this morning and done that when it was calm, but that's okay. Tomorrow looks really nice as well, so I can probably pop out here tomorrow. So I'm just going to keep going and get these done, and then I will show you what these look like when I am done. And then there's a couple things that I noticed in the garden coming up that I want to share with you along with trimming the raspberries back. So here I go. Be back in a second. All right, all the 4-inch holes are filled. Here's a look at the first row. And a look at the second row. So the rest of them will go at the end of this second row. I just need to come in here and put holes in between each one on both sides. These are currently spaced at 9 inches, so going in between them will give me that 4-inch spacing about that I need, and it should all even out pretty good. This is all that I have left for the Lisianthus, probably a little less than half a tray, so that should fit in there no problem. Then since this is all 4-inch spacing, I may just hop over here and do the same thing to this and fill this in with snapdragons. This was all zinnias last year, and here I had straw flowers. The zinnias honestly were a little bit too big for the space, so I think I'm just gonna burn the holes, have it be snapdragons, and they'll be much more comparable in height. And then the rest of this bed is usually my dahlias, but currently this is where my tulips are coming up. And oh my goodness, they are really starting to peek through. In fact, I see a bud right there. I'm hoping that I have a lot of these for Mother's Day. Clearly some of them may be earlier. There's a few rogue ones in that last bed that I planted the year before, but these are looking so, so good. I think in this space I have 4,400, something like that. So yeah, should have a really nice harvest. And then this is probably where the dahlias will go again. Just for reference, here's the entire space. This is my photography studio. Back there's the parking lot. The hoop house is over here. And this is the retail store. Okay, couple things I want to show you. This bed clearly needs cleaning out. In the front should be a lot of rudbeckia, hopefully coming back. But look at the back, which, yes, I've got some landscape fabric problems. They blew up in the winter. But look at that. Look at those peonies. They are looking so good. And look at these. Oh my goodness, they're looking so good. These were planted last year, so this is just their second year. I think on my to-do list tomorrow will be to clean out this bed because these are looking so good. But the thing about peonies is you need to let them grow for 3 years before you harvest them. And one of the things that is recommended is while they're growing for those 3 years, you want to cut the buds off because you want to send as much energy into the plant as possible. And if you let them flower, that is just taking the energy. So you really want to make sure that you give them as much growth through the roots as possible for those first 3 years. These are so far along because this is the south side of this metal building, and the heat here is a lot, especially in the spring. I have some peonies out in the other area of the garden that are not that far along. But when I am able to harvest off of these, that will be a good thing because these will bloom first, those will bloom second, and that will stagger the harvest a little bit. All right, there's a couple more things that I want to show you. So before we cut those raspberries, I just wanted to show you this area of the garden for reference. It's right next to my pergola. and it's looking pretty horrible. However, underneath all this mess, which this was cut back last fall, there are things happening. There's a rogue tulip there. That is not what I'm excited about. But all of this brush that was cut back last fall is mountain mint. And if we come in here, I'm going to shade this so hopefully you guys can see that. Right down in here, can you see that little bit of green? That is all my mountain mint starting to flush back. And if you have never grown mountain mint for cut flowers, it is so good. You should try it. The other thing I'm really excited about, all these little open holes, you will see all this green coming up. See all of that green that needs to be thinned? Those are bells of Ireland that have seeded themselves, and they live in this area every year. And sorry for my shadow, but the bells of Ireland will fill this whole entire area. Then the mountain mint is in the center. And then if we come around the side, all along the edge here, I planted feverfew, and I can see that starting to peek through as well. So the last thing that I just thought I would show you are these raspberries that are coming up. And for reference, there used to be a fence here, and this is actually a gate. But when we did the building renovation last year, we had to take this part of the fence out so they could work on the foundation and the tuck pointing and get their crane in here and all of that. But I decided to keep this part of the fence. Hopefully the wind's not hitting my mic too bad. We decided to keep this portion of the fence to still keep this enclosed. And here I might end up putting a trellis. I had a trellis here last year. I grew pumpkins on it. I didn't love having pumpkins here. So if we do some sort of trellis or something, I will do it differently. Or maybe I could put a trellis off the edge of the fence and then have something vining going up. That might be the better solution. But right along the fence here, this is where my original raspberry patch was. And in the last video you saw where I planted the new raspberries, but there are still some really nice plants coming up. So these are probably going to get transplanted in the next week or two, but they are really starting to leaf out. So I just want to go ahead and cut them off. These are heritage raspberries, and I know there's a couple different ways that you can cut these, with cutting just the ones that fruited last year. I just like to go in and cut them completely down every year. That way I get one big fall harvest. Sorry, the wind's coming up again. I like one big fall harvest because that is just simpler for me to process when we make jam, preserve it, those kind of things. So I'm just gonna come in here. I'm gonna go about 6 inches off the ground, cut the whole stem off. And then these will probably get taken to the dump. And from what I can see, there's a lot of little runners. You know, raspberries kind of grow underground and then pop up somewhere else. There's a lot of little runners around here that I can dig up and place in the new raspberry patch as well. So here's the raspberry plants that I just trimmed back. They have some really great growth on them. And like I said, they'll probably get transplanted in the next week or so. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for this video. I'm actually going to head inside and probably start editing it. And then tomorrow morning, I will start all over, burning the holes, planting more, harvesting daffodils. The end of this week, you will probably see a video with me working with the daffodils and making my Easter bouquets. So stay tuned for that. And of course, stay tuned for a lot more yet this season. I have a good feeling about this season, and I'm really excited to share everything with you guys. So watch for a lot more videos to come. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you guys soon.